Hi, I'm Roger.
And I'm Mayra. Welcome to our Travels.
As some of you already know, we've been living and traveling in our van for the past 7 months, and we got the chance to sleep in front of some beautiful beaches, drive down some amazing roads, and visit some of our favorite cities.
In this video, we'll be sharing some of the answers to the questions that we get asked the most about Vanlife. And if you're thinking about this lifestyle, we also will be sharing tips and recommendations about traveling in a van.
Alright, so let's start off with the number one question we get asked the most.
How often do you shower? Do you even shower?
Well, sometimes. So when getting the van ready, showering was one of our priorities. We like to do outdoor activities, we like to hike, and after a long hike, going to sleep without a shower could be a little uncomfortable. So what we did is we created and mounted a solar power tube on the top of our van, and it came really in handy when we're in deserted areas and away from the city.
For example, in Baja, Mexico, we use our shower tube all the time. Since we were camping mostly in front of beaches, it came in really handy since it's an outdoor shower. However, when we were in the United States, and mostly in cities, we couldn't really do that, so that's why we got our gym memberships. We also did showers at parks and beaches, and when these were not options and there was no gym, that's when our bucket shower came in handy.
So when it was too cold and the sun couldn't heat up the shower tube, we would pop open our shower tent and we would take what we call a bucket shower. What I mean by bucket shower is we will heat up some water on our stove, we will put it inside the bucket, and we'll wash yourself with a cup with that water and a little bit of soap and stuff like that.
Now the second most asked question is, where do we use the bathroom? Most of the time it's like when you're in a road trip, meaning we use public bathrooms at rest areas, gas stations, campgrounds, and we also have an emergency toilet with biodegradable bags and a pee jar.
And about that emergency toilet, we were thinking about not purchasing it in the beginning when we first started building our van, but I'm so glad we did, because there was a few emergencies and there was times that we showed up to the bathrooms and they were either filthy dirty or there weren't any.
And the next question is, where do we sleep? So sleeping for free and safely was also our priority. And we came across this app called iOverlander that shows you free places to sleep and campgrounds nearby. For example, in Mexico, we slept in front of some beautiful beaches. In the United States, we discovered some unique and free places to sleep, like the Mexican Hut in Utah, and also some campgrounds that you could actually stay there up to 14 days for free.
So in big cities, what we do is we try to find residential areas that have apartments, and we park near the apartments where there's plenty of street parking so we can blend in, and we go there only when we're ready to sleep. So that means we already brushed our teeth, we have our pajamas on, and we just show up, park, and sleep. So the next morning we wake up really early, around 7 o'clock. We don't open the doors or anything, we just head out. And by doing this, it allows us to come back to the same location if we ever needed to again. For example, in Key West, we slept 4 days in front of the same location, in front of this beach, and we had no problem.
And as far as Walmarts and 24-hour locations, we also used them in a couple of times, such as in Page, Arizona, near the Horseshoe Van, in New Orleans, and we also use them in West Florida, but this is our last resort usually.
So some people ask us, how is it living in such a small place? Well, first let me tell you how it all started and how we got into it. Before I started building a van, I started watching a lot of tiny house videos, documentaries on Vanlife, and then I said, you know what, I really want to try giving this lifestyle a try. But I wasn't planning on traveling. I just wanted to live in a small place and give it a go.
So when he told me that, I was like, no way, Jose. I mean, Roger. I didn't really see myself living in such a small place, but I always dream of traveling.
So what I did is I started converting a van that I already had for maybe weekend trips, and also to convince Mayra. And so after it was built, we went on a little road trip to Borrego Springs near our home. And
after that weekend trip, I actually saw ourselves living in the van, but traveling. And now, after 7 months of traveling, adventuring, and exploring, I realized that we're mostly outdoors, and it actually feels like a sense of freedom. So you end up not noticing that you actually live in a tiny space because your backyard is always changing from a beautiful beach, an amazing forest, a neighborhood in Austin, Texas, or just a Walmart parking lot.
So a few people asked us what van we would recommend. So it all depends on how long you're going to be living in it. If you're going to stay put, if you're planning on traveling with it. For us, we didn't want to invest 20 grand on our first van, so we did a van that we already had, but we wanted also for it to be comfortable and for it to feel like home.
So we converted our Chevy Express into a camper van, but if you're thinking about living more than 2 years or just staying in one location, our recommendation is to get one where you can stand and where you can build some sort of indoor bathroom and shower.
And what we're talking about is not an RV. RVs are good, but they're not as stealth. They could be hard to park in certain areas and move around. But I would say, you know, be creative, use whatever you have. We met a guy on the road that he converted his car into a little house, and it was actually really cool. And he's been traveling with it, you know, for a while.
These are the items that we recommended to bring along, regardless if you're gonna convert the van or it's gonna be your car or whatever you're thinking about converting. First, bring an emergency toilet.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the emergency toilet came in handy for us. When you gotta go, it's better to be prepared than... Okay, so our second thing that we highly recommend is a comfortable mattress.
A comfortable mattress is gonna make a difference because you're gonna be mostly exploring, hiking, outdoors. And when it comes to resting, a comfy mattress makes a difference. Ours is even more comfortable than one we had at home before.
And we will also recommend one of those car windshield sun reflectors, and we also got some of those side window shades. They really help to keep the car cool, and we usually use that when we're going to sleep. We just put that up and it works great.
Privacy. And if you like to cook, we recommend you to bring a camper stove. We like to cook and use it all the time, and also it's gonna help you save money.
Another thing that came really useful on our travels was battery powered fans. We have 2 of them. They're rechargeable, and they came in handy in Vegas where it was 100 degrees, and also Arizona. And the last item we highly recommend is a 12-volt power inverter. This is really basic. This is just to charge your laptops or your battery powered fans, things like that, while you're on the road. All right, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed our video.
And in our next video, we'll be giving you a complete tour of our van.
So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this.
And if you have any questions or tips for us, please let us know in the comments below.
All right, see you later. Woo-hoo.
Bye.